There are lots of different examples of Dalek leadership ranks, each with suitably grandiose sounding names. The Dalek Emperor, the Dalek Supreme, the Dalek Time Controller, all of which have a distinct place in the Dalek hierarchy that is generally agreed upon by fans. However, there is one example of a Dalek leadership rank from Doctor Who's expanded media that has caused a bit more debate among fans than other clearly established Dalek leaders. That rank is none other than the Dalek Prime. Making its debut in the first long-running storyline in the Doctor Who expanded universe, the comic series Invasion of the Dalek Prime is allegedly the first Dalek in existence, as well as the first Dalek Emperor. Invasion of the Daleks established many concepts that would go on to become key aspects of Dalek lore in the show, including the idea for the Dalek Emperor itself, a rare example of Doctor Who lore being created in a tie-in media that the show then worked off of, rather than the other way around. However, not all of Invasion of the Daleks' ideas made it to the TV series, and the Dalek Prime was one of these. According to some sources, the Dalek Prime was the Dalek that exterminated Davros, which went on to become the first Dalek Emperor who met the second Doctor in The Evil of the Daleks. The Dalek Prime is also alleged to have survived until the aftermath of the Imperial Renegade Dalek Civil War, and some sources even suggest that this is the same Dalek Emperor seen in Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways, who was resurrected by the Dalek Time Strategist during the Time War and went on to declare itself the God of all Daleks, before being destroyed during its invasion of Earth in the year 200-100. However, this is contradicted by other sources, which claim that the Emperor who was resurrected by the Dalek Time Strategist is a different Emperor to the one seen in the classic series, and that the God of all Daleks is a separate individual to both the Dalek Prime and the Dalek Emperor from the Evil of the Daleks. There are even other Dalek characters who have been implied to go on to become the Dalek Emperor from New Who, such as the Dalek Prime Strategist, though the fact that these sources contradict each other means that it is difficult to tell which, if any, are true. If the story of the Dalek Prime is true, and he really did begin with exterminating Davros in the Dalek bunker and die at the hands of the Bad Wolf after the Time War, then he must have been one of the most prolific Daleks in the history of the universe, surviving several encounters with the Doctor and only finally being defeated by a temporal deity. However, there is a lot of evidence to suggest that the legend of the Dalek Prime is just that, a legend, perhaps even in-universe Dalek propaganda to perpetuate the idea that their leaders cannot be killed. Indeed, if the story of the Dalek Prime is true, then it must also be one of the most erratic and deranged Daleks in history. It claims to view the Daleks not as an evil force, but instead a natural implementation of the belief that the strong dominate the weak, and it loathed Davros, seeing him as a representation of the weakness of the Kaleds. Among the most narcissistic of all the Daleks, its arrogance would prove its undoing time and time again, and evidently forcing it to eventually adopt a pseudo-religious mindset in order to justify its own claims of superiority. Whilst it is an interesting idea to consider that one singular Dalek rose from the ranks as a Grey Dalek that shot Davros to the rank of Dalek Emperor, periodically being killed off only to triumphantly return to lead the Daleks into their next golden age, the reality is that the Dalek Prime is one of those things in Dalek lore, sort of like the convoluted explanation for the Magellan War and the Dalek Civil War given in the War of the Daleks book, that aims to tie together different aspects of Dalek history, drawing links when there really didn't need to be any. While a Dalek Prime may have existed in the early days of the Daleks, what we see from the TV stories and the majority of the expanded media suggests that the various Dalek Emperors are distinct individuals, and that they each held power over an incarnation of the Dalek Empire for a time before being killed and later replaced with another Emperor or leader of a similar rank. Of course, there is another way to interpret this. Could the Dalek Prime simply be a persona that exists in the pathweb, a mantle that is passed from one Dalek Emperor to another, that retains all the memories and personality traits of the Dalek Emperor across its many bodies? This could explain why Davros began to experience facets of the Dalek Emperor's personality in Terra Firma, or why there are Dalek Emperors in the mutant phase and We Are the Daleks that sound like the Dalek Emperor from the new series. If this is the case, and the Dalek Emperor is a personality that passes from one Dalek body to another via the pathweb, does that mean that the Dalek Emperor could one day return? Let me know what you think of this theory, as well as the concept of the Dalek Prime as a whole, in the comments below.